following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Buy the Robles jersey, MLWmerch.com. Buy it twice. I can't wait.
Welcome to Fade the Mahoney. This is the Week 4 Major League Wiffle Ball preview. We've been talking about it for several weeks now. We've got Jordan Robles here. Jordan, if you don't know, was the #1 overall draft pick in this year's draft. Huge expectations. We're going to have a lot to talk about, a lot of questions, but just real briefly, we strive to provide the best possible sports gambling content. And I personally put Jorgie in a bad spot last week, where I asked him to comment on the series and preview the series right after they got done playing it. That's on me. I'm going to do my best not to do that going forward. Today, we're actually talking to Jordan right before game time. So we're going to get everything we can ask for in terms of a preview and predictions and his thoughts on the league and everything. So that's what we're going to do. If you're new to the show, we cover all major sports from a sports gambling point of view, including Major League Wiffle Ball. We've had a lot of awesome guests on the past. You can check them out in the archives. But last week we had Jorgie. The week before that, we had Jordan's
Drew Davis.
Yeah, got it. The word I was trying to say, I'm not very smart this morning. Anyway, Jordan, welcome to the show, buddy. Welcome to Major League Wiffle Ball.
Thank you guys for having me. It's great to be here. I'm glad it's not raining. I had a couple of delays yesterday. I honestly was worried this wasn't going to happen. Weather-wise, didn't look good, but here I am, and I still can't fathom everything that's happening, but I'm happy to be here.
They send a private plane for you to New York to pick you up to make sure you're ready to rock for the big game, right?
Private jet, Freedom Tower. I'm thankful that we're able to get the wheels off and get out of New York City quickly.
Awesome. We're going to talk a lot about the numbers that Trevor and I discussed in our season preview. It's linked down below. It is still the best thing we've ever put out. So we're going to have Jordan comment on some of those. But first off, Jordan, a lot of my viewers are probably only familiar with Major League Wiffle Ball. Tell us where you're from as far as the wiffle ball sense and how you got here.
Yeah, so I have been playing competitive wiffle ball in tournaments since 2010 all over the East Coast. If you can think of a league, MAW, ECW, Golden Stick Wiffle Ball League, Palisades WBL, I've been everywhere and anywhere. NWLA tournament, if you want to get more like country specific. I went to Vegas to Premier League last summer as well, won the July 4th tournament. So I've been playing the best competition wherever they are. I seek the best competition, and I just find a way to get out there and play the best people. That's what I love to do.
And is that why you're now in Major League Wiffle Ball? Because they're the best?
Finally, I'm in MLW, the biggest league in the world. I would say they're definitely trending that way. I'm happy to be a part of it, and the league's definitely evolved. If you look at the 2016 years compared to now, you got guys like Jimmy Norp, Nick Saylor. So now I'm involved with it. So I'm sure in the years to come, the competition is going to get even better and better. As I say that the day before the game, before I've, played my first inning, may sound a little cocky, but I'm confident that my play will do the talking for me, and I should have a great year.
Who's the best player in Major League Wiffle Ball as of right now?
As of right now, I have not played a game, and I'm biased. I'm not going to say myself. I would have to say Jimmy Norp. Guy's good on both sides of the ball, a lot of different pitches, great with the bat. So I would have to say that's the guy right now.
You agree with that, Trevor?
I mean, you have to after the season he had last year. Obviously Saylor looking good so far this year, but obviously we're only one game in for some teams. So
I think the best thing to do, Trevor, if you're cool with it, is going forward. If we should probably, as far as the numbers go, wait until everybody's played the same number of games before we, if we're going to address and update the numbers. You have any response, Jordan, to Drew Davis's comments about what you can expect coming into a brand new league?
I have played in so many different places, so it's nothing new to me. One of the things that, a good trait to have, if you play at a high level, you got to be able to adapt to any situation. Like I'm used to facing guys throwing 98 with crazy movement, change, and speed. So there's nothing I haven't seen, and I'm confident no matter what Drew Davis throws, it won't end up in Canada. I'm pretty confident today he's going to throw me that drop slider. I'm going to try and hit it over that Canadian border over there and be on my way back to New York.
So we're playing the Cobras. That's what the series is this week. Trevor, you want to preview it with your numbers? You ready with that?
Yeah, why not? I'd like to start with saying that, like the kids say, I woke up like this, like literally 2 minutes ago. Normally, I don't sleep in, but my Little League team had an exhilarating 14-13 victory yesterday, which tired me out. So I slept in a little bit, but I slept in this last night. So
It's going to be a great day. The team's never going to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Trevor, can I confidently say they did not cover the spread, but the game flew over? Does that sound about right?
The spread was debatable because teams were playing by different rules. I don't want to get into it. It was like exhausting.
Okay, but you got the victory. Good job.
So we're previewing this game first of all. Obviously, the numbers are hard to figure out with this type of series, but I think there's going to be some home runs. Drew Davis has the ability to get a little wild here and there. First game of the season. So I set the line at 13.5 over the 3 games. Tough one to. The numbers are always hard to figure out. As you see, we'll have to talk about last week's game. It's so hard to put a number on 3 games in a wiffle ball series, but I tend to do a pretty good job. So we went 13.5 on that, and I have the Mallards as a slight favorite. Got them at 125.
All right. So Mallards are favored to win at least 2 of the 3 games. They're favored by minus 125. Total 13.5. That's the second highest total you've set so far this year.
Yeah.
Jordan, why don't you give us your thoughts on those 2 numbers?
I think that's a great line. If you look at the weather today, you're supposed to get thunderstorms, a little bit of rain, so it's going to be harder to control the ball. And like you said earlier, Drew Davis historically hasn't had the best control, so I think that's pretty accurate. I like us as a slight favorite. I say put everything you got on the Mallards. Those are great odds. I would say that's the lock of the week. Definitely do not bet against the Orioles. I had a horrible beat yesterday. I took the Rays against the Orioles, and so off with him tonight. But I'm looking to make that up with this Mallards bet today.
Like it.
Okay, we can all agree that if you're going to bet on the league that you're playing in, as long as you bet on your team, everything's cool, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
All right. If we can recap yesterday real quick, you had the team that was favored lost the first 2 games. So you were in bad shape there with the Gators. They were minus 150.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
I'm just laughing at your it seems like your inability to remember things, but maybe you're just looking forward to, or also I just woke up too, but that's fine.
I'm slow this morning. It's all right.
Yeah. This is what happens when old people try to do things. Yeah, so I had the Gators as a favorite. Obviously, those games really surprised me. It's funny. I went back yesterday. I was very bored. I didn't have a lot of poker action, so I was watching some of the 2020 series that went from when the Gators won it all. And there were so many. Obviously, with football, there's so many close games, so many close breaks, so many different things that can happen. And so as I was watching, I was like, man, I think maybe I was too low on the Gators going into the season. Now I'm like watching them pitch and hit, and I'm like, yeah, they can do this. And then the Preds just come out and smack them around. And I was not, I was really down on the Preds in the preseason. I did not expect that from the way that they hit the ball between Warda and Russell and Cratch all hitting the ball so well. But I mean, Russell always comes out hot in the beginning of the season. So it's just a matter of whether they can maintain that throughout the season. They're going to have a lot of tough series. And, as I said, for both teams, I had both teams as underdogs in the rest of their series throughout. So I'm not really worried about my numbers there as far as the win-loss total goes. Yeah, I mean, it's tough picking the numbers too, obviously. They're going to win some games. You got Ryan Cratch, who's a great pitcher. I think the Gators will bounce back a little bit, but they're still I don't think they're going to hit their total like I thought.
Yeah, it worked out really well for me for viewers who watched the preview last week. I took the over. Second inning of the second game, first inning of the second game, it was already over. So that worked out well for me. I did get a message. What'd you say?
There was a lot of runs in that game.
A lot of homers.
Not good for the under.
I got a message from Jorgie congratulating me on hitting the the over, and he felt bad about how he pitched, but it worked out for me. So that's that. Jordan, if we go through some of the preseason numbers that we have for you, seeing as how you haven't taken an official at bat, can we get your opinion on your numbers specifically?
Absolutely. I'm a huge degenerate gambler, so any opportunity I get to go through lines and numbers, more than willing.
Awesome. All right.
Those are our magic words.
You're talking to our audience. Our audience. Oh. That's perfect.
He's not here, all we do is gamble.
Season win total. Trevor lined you at 7.5. So basically all you guys got to do is have a winning record to hit the over. Your thoughts on that number, and if you were making the line, what would you have made it?
I would probably make it 7.5. I'm very unknown. Like, I love the unknownness that I don't know how the ball is going to move. I may go out there and get shelled today, but I may go out there and look like Sandy Koufax. So I love that, unknown feeling. I think it's very accurate. I do think we should have a winning record, and that's not a lot to ask. So I think that line is perfect. I'll definitely take the over on that.
Okay. Based upon what you just said, are you planning? Do we think it's the plan that you're going to be pitching 2 games every series?
I would say so. Yeah. As long as I can control the ball. Like I said, I've played with the kind of ball that we're going to use there. You scrape it on cement, but, it's different every time. You cannot consistently get the same ball, no matter how many times you could rub it the same way on cement every single time. There's still going to be slight variations in the ball. It's going to move differently, but just going to be up to me adapting as the ball gets worn out, because it's going to get hit. The speed limit is definitely going to be one thing. I can't just blow the ball by people like I've been able to prior, but I've played medium pitch. I won a medium pitch national championship last summer. So one of the good things that I would say about me is I find ways to adapt, and that's what I'm going to have to do today. I'm going to have to adapt very quick and find ways to get people out.
Jordan, have you ever played with Caden before?
I have not. I've played against him in a couple tournaments, but the rules were way different than MLW, and he won't be there today. He's in the Outer Banks.
Okay, interesting.
I remember them making some comments during the draft about the different rules and so forth. In the main league that you play on the East Coast, do they do the scuffing of the balls in that too, or?
Yeah. So you can knife the ball. You can do whatever you want to it. You can throw a clean ball, knife ball, cement ball. You can use it against a cheese grater as long as it's not cracked. That's one thing. You can throw it as hard as you want. The pitching distance is a little bit further back. Guys have bigger bats, bigger barrel size, so they're able to put the ball. I mean, I don't want to say put the ball and play more, but when they make contact, ball goes a little bit further. And there's no base running, so definitely a little different. But I play so many different leagues. The main league is fast pitch unrestricted, but I play yard, which is medium pitch, the yellow bats, and it's 55 miles an hour.
Oh wow!
I play everywhere, so there's nothing I have not done.
God, this has got to be the most anticipated series. I mean, that first week series was pretty awesome with the World Series rematch, but
no, this is the most anticipated debut in MLW history.
I agree. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome day. I'm glad to be a part of this. It's about time.
Yeah, that's right.
Trevor, anything he said about them thinking about him pitching the amount he is, is that what you were factoring in when all the numbers were made?
Yeah, I figured that was going to be the case. I mean, Tommy didn't really pitch much at all last year. He was still hurt a bit. So I figured he was going to give the ball to Jordan, let him pitch. And obviously he said Caden wouldn't be there today, but Caden can pitch a little bit also. But yeah, I figured that Jordan would be pitching 2 out of 3 games, and I went over on that 7.5 number. I was very high on the Mallards preseason. So, I thought they would win more series than they lose. And that's what my number reflected. 7.5 seems like a pretty good line to set for that.
All right. Well, we do have that down as one of your best bets. All right, let's jump ahead to MVP. We had you lined at 14-1. Thoughts?
I like those odds. Like I said, I've never played a game in MLW. Nobody knows me. The casual fan really has no idea who I am. So I think those are fantastic odds for the sharps out there. And I think they should just pour the money on that line, because if I play the way that I know I should be Should be a great great bet, you know.
All right, let's do this next one slightly differently. Well, you already know the number because I know you're a degenerate, so you've studied these. But if you had to, you're going to play 15 games, right? 5 times 3. Did I do that math right?
Yeah.
15 games. What would you line your over under for homers?
19.5, I would say.
Let me check my sheet, Trevor. It is currently lined at 6.5. So we have a 13 home run difference, 19.5. What's the record in the league? Do you know, Trevor?
I can look it up. That would have to be a record, I'm pretty sure, unless you go definitely a modern day record. If you go back to when it was just 2 teams or whatever, then maybe there is more. But I can look it up right now. But I don't know.
Okay, you do that. RBI, same question. What would you line your RBI at?
What was the line? I know the homer one off the top of my head. What was the number for total for RBIs?
We had you down for 24.5. So obviously it's going to be a lot more than that.
Yeah, if I'm saying 19.5, probably like 30-ish, I want to say.
Okay. Sounds to me like you don't have a lot of confidence in your teammates getting on base if you're going to have you're going to have 19.5 home runs. That's a lot of solo homers.
I don't know how this year is going to play. Like, I know my teammates, but I've never played with them. So I don't want to say, they're going to be, I don't want to always assume they're going to get on base. So kind of, if it's an individual stat, I'm going to kind of, predict it more individually, I guess you can say.
I got you. And then Cy Young Award, we had you lined right in the middle at plus 750. We'll get a real good sense of how that number is after your first one. But if you watched not last week's, but 2 weeks ago, Dirty's stuff looked pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. A lot of the stuff though I've seen before. Like I've played the best guys for a decade, so that overhand super curve pitch, I've been seeing that for 5 years. I've played against guys that have that same movement with a lot more velocity and a lot better control change and speed. So it's geared more to make contact. I want to say like with the ball we use, with the distance, with the speed limit. So it's kind of hard to be dominant pitching like Jimmy Norp's opening day. Jimmy Norp, I would say, probably has the best stuff. And even he got hit around a little bit. It's hard to be dominant with the speed limit and with the cement scuff ball. So people are going to hit. There's not going to be anyone that's going to go out there and be lights out throwing shutouts every game, which is good. If that was the case, there wouldn't be as many eyes on the league. So
yeah, we don't want to see 3 games that end 1-0.
Exactly.
That's not what the viewer wants to see. What do you got, Trevor? You find anything?
Okay, I got it. So in the history, in 2013, Kyle Schultz hit 35 home runs. I believe that was the highest ever that I saw in the modern era. The highest that I've seen recently was 2018. Kyle hit 13.
What differentiates the eras? Number of teams / players, obviously.
Number of teams / quality of pitching. And I mean, even then, if you go 2018, there's still some rough pitchers in there. So if you go, the last couple of years, you had the league leaders being around 10, 11.
Jordan, if in the complete hypothetical, if they expand, they add a team or 2 or 4, I guess would be more likely, and they asked you to captain your own team, would you be able to successfully put together a team from the East Coast and invade and dominate?
I would successfully be able to put a team together. The financial logistics of it, financially on the East Coast, it costs $20 to cross the GWB. So we are not the most wealthiest of individuals there. We probably need some financial backing. I absolutely would be able to. There's a ton of guys that are starving to get this opportunity and starving to play on the big platform of MLW. So, and there's a lot of talented guys. There's guys 10 times better than me, just as good as me, all over the East Coast, up and down. So, I would say if we invaded, it would take a little bit of time to adapt, maybe 1 or 2 series, but we would do very, very well.
I got an idea. Do you think I can buy a team, JoJo? Or can we buy a team?
You know what? Do you know what's crazy? As I was actually thinking last night, this is a real sport. This is becoming huge. they should sell franchises as an expansion. Trevor, you would be an amazing owner / general manager.
Yeah. I'd fly in for every series, 100%.
Yeah. We'd have a war room. Start with Jordan, because it'd be a new team. Jordan would be our cornerstone. He'd help you evaluate maybe some of the players you haven't seen so far. Before that happens, if a team needs a sponsorship, perhaps, in order to make it work for travel logistics. I mean, the Fade the Mahoney East Coasters sounds like a pretty good team name. Something like that.
If you know anything about the Fade the Mahoney crew, it's that we have money to blow.
Yeah, we usually give it to bookies, but if we saved a little of it to sponsor team. Yeah. And all right, what haven't I covered, Trevor? What haven't I asked? What do we need to talk about? We only got him for a few more minutes before the limo picks him up to take him to the game.
Jordan, what were your thoughts on the series that was yesterday? That came on yesterday, the Preds Gator series.
Kind of like how you guys said, I was shocked. I myself was pretty high in the Gators. They've been a contender every year they've been in the league, like last 2-3 years. I believe they won in 2020, right?
Yeah.
I was shocked, but it's week one, and a lot of these guys legitimately have not played wiffle ball since last season ended. So bats are cold. It's hard to figure out arm slots. I doubt like many people have thrown bullpens. Like I said, the ball, I don't think these players realize how important the ball is. So if you get a poorly scuffed ball, your pitches aren't going to work. You're not going to have any control. Things are going to be flat. It's going to stay straight and you're going to get hit. So I know Jorgensen's going to bounce back. But the Preds look great. That should be what people are talking about more, not that the Gators look bad, just that the Preds look good. They're hitting Brennan Russell, Ryan Crack. Ryan looks great, obviously, every year on the mound, but Ward is fast as hell. It's crazy how fast that kid is. I can't wait to see him run, hopefully not against us, but in person. Preds look great. Gators fans might be a little concerned, I'd say. 15 games isn't a lot, so you really can't afford to go down this early in the season.
Yeah. The other question I had for you, Drew gave us a little insight on the way that they did the balls, as far as that they only, what was it? There's 2 balls total for the series, right? So it was the same balls used in the second game, and then they bring a new one in for the third game. So how's that? Is that anything different to you, or how's that going to be?
So the way that I've always played, you get to scuff your own ball any way you want, and you are the only person that uses it. The other team has their own ball, so if you get a ball that's worn out, you can replace that at any moment. So it's crazy to me that 2 teams are using the same ball, but again, for viewership, and then if you watch the MLB, they use one baseball. Both teams use one baseball. So this is probably good in the grand scheme of things. I myself just not used to it, but I could be throwing lights out. If the other guy is getting lit up like, the 4th of July, the ball is going to get dented, it's going to be broken in. So then I'm a victim to a dented, beat up ball. So there's a lot of unknowns. I hope the ball moves the way I want it, but I'm confident I'll be able to figure out whatever it's doing. I'll adapt to that and make it work.
Gotcha. So it sounds like I want to take the over in this game a little bit, maybe just because the uncertainty with the ball, and you're very confident in your hitting, the pitching you're confident in, obviously, but there's other variables at play here that could throw you off a bit.
Yep. Speed limit, I'm sure it'll take me, I really can't wait to warm up because I'm throwing from 38 feet. I got to keep it under 72 miles an hour and have a cement ball. So, but this is what I love. I love like adversity and chaoticness. I've never done this before. So let's see where we're at. It's like WCW invading WWE, like Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. This is what that is in real life right now. So it's pretty awesome.
Jojo loves this.
We're so excited. This is okay. I got something. That's going to be great. Any chance, do you have any plans? Let me take a step back. The Fade the Mahoney family is actively working on getting a squad together to participate in the Midwest Slugfest. It's the end of August. We have, Trevor, I think we've got 4 people pretty solid for that. Any chance you're going to make it out to that one or any of the other ones that they have scheduled for the summer?
I would love to. I know Medium Pitch Nationals is in Staten Island late August usually. I just got to pinpoint that date. But if I can, I absolutely would love to. Just a matter of if I've got anything else, any other tournaments going on. But we'll see. I would love to get out there. If I'm available, I'll definitely be there.
That is awesome.
If
Trevor,
you're there, you're going to have to teach me how to pitch.
Holes to the right, throw it as hard as you can.
Perfect.
One of our 4 players, Jimmy Donut, says he was going to go invest in some balls and bats and start pitching. So I don't know how old he is. I suspect he's probably younger than you and I, Trevor. But if he wants to wreck his arm, we'll let him do that. I mean, if you want to do it as well, it won't be me. That's for sure.
I was also thinking if we want to add a 5th member to the team, we can let Andrew, my son, play up. He's 7. He'll be 8 at the time, but he'll probably be way better than he hits the ball a ton in the backyard. He had a great game last night. Shout out to him because he was the MVP of our team last night. So
that's smart. That's a good idea. Before we wrap up, it's looking like next week's guest is going to be Chris Cheetam. I've had some preliminary discussions with him. He sent me some messages last night. He finally watched the preview. Everybody, when you're done with this, go watch the preview. It's the best, like I said, it's the best thing we've ever done. He loved it. His comments are, Trevor is going to lose his ass if Robles gets off to a slow start. And he had some comments about some of your over-unders. He said they should have won their series last week, but he thinks your number on the Preds was way too low.
That's fair. That's fair. Definitely. I see that now, obviously, but they still are going to have some tough series coming up against really good opponents. So they still have to win another series to get the over, right? They can go, it's whatever. It's close.
It's early.
Maybe it's too low, but anyway, the other thing is that, if I do lose my ass because Jordan doesn't perform, I'm still going to be okay because the Gators under will hit.
Okay. Well, you got that one. And at least for the next few weeks, the whole Fire Warda campaign can be quiet for a little while, right? He can stick around.
Warda's not getting fired. Come on.
All right.
Guys look good. Preds look good.
They mashed the ball. That was a lot of homers. It was good for the over. Trevor, I got you this week on the over. You've got this one at 13.5. You want to pick it this week and we'll book another 100?
Yeah, I'm going to take the over.
All right. Jordan, I'm going to expect a couple of no-hitters out of you so that did we lose him?
Nope.
There you go.
We're back. I don't know if you heard me, Jordan, but I'm going to expect 2 no-hitters out of you because I've got the under 13.5. So if you could keep it under for me, that would be great.
Yep. Score more than the other guys and you win every time.
Yeah, a couple 2-1 victories, all 3 games. That'll work out great for me.
Absolutely.
I think we covered everything. You got anything else you want to ask, Trevor? Or are we good?
No, I think we're good. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Tune
you.
in. Place jersey, buy it twice. That's all I gotta say. Don't bet against the Orioles too. Do not do that.
Wait, can I just pull that up? You're talking. You had the Orioles last night, or you had the Rays?
I had the Rays, and they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Somehow, some way, they found a way to lose that game, giving up a walk-off bomb to Odor. It was tragic, but you live to fight another day.
Tampa was up 2 in the 10th. You had to feel good at that point.
They were winning in extras, and they're playing Baltimore. I don't know how they found a way to lose that game, but they're just allergic to winning, and you hate to see it.
All right. Well, we're going to finish it with this. Whenever anybody loses, one of our big mottos to the kids, when you're betting and you lose, the only way to get even is to chase. So just chase it today, Jordan. Get a good bet today and chase it. This show was awesome. I hope people watch it. Trevor, we got to wait for the series.
I can't wait. I know.
It's going to be a long wait.
7
All
days.
right, Jordan, thanks a lot. Hopefully, maybe playoff time or somewhere down the road, we can hook up again and get a either mid-season or postseason update from you. Sound good?
Absolutely. Down for that.
All right, that's great. Hey, say hello to Tommy for us if you see him in a little bit.
I'll be walking down to the Tommy Coughlin Limo Express.
I love it. Smack attack. Let's go.
All right.
Yup.
Let's go. Buy it twice, everybody. Good gambling, everybody.
Buy the Robles jersey, MLWmerch.com. Buy it twice. I can't wait.
I dare you to buy this shirt. The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Bonus content. We're tacking this on to our big interview with Jordan Robles. Their series is dropping tomorrow on the YouTube. Most anticipated debut, as we've mentioned previously. I don't need to go over it again. We've got a guest handicapper, a guest degenerate here, Chris Cheetam from the Great Lake Gators, who's going to help us pick a few games. Again, if you're not familiar with what we do here, we have a superpower of having some of the worst sports bettors on the planet join us. So generally speaking, whatever they tell you to bet on, go the other way and it'll work out for you. I've been told you're super sharp when it comes to the NBA. So can I give you the Western Conference final game for tonight, Chris?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
We've got DraftKings is giving me a problem here. The Warriors at home looking to close it out, up 3-1. They're favored by 7 over the Mavericks. What do you think on that game?
This is tough because, the Mavs are coming off a game and they played extremely well. Warriors, in my opinion, looked flat, but you got to remember this is a closeout game on the road. They're back at home. They're getting a lot of points here, 7 points. That's a lot. They got to, unless there's free throws at the end of the game, they got to win by a decent amount in this game. So I think I'm going to take the Mavericks to cover. I don't think that's a popular pick for tonight because I think a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, Warriors might just run them out of the building. But I actually think the Mavericks might win this game outright at home and send it back to 6, where they might lose the Mavs to the Warriors at home. So, but I think Luka is going to have a monster game. He really didn't explode last game. They still were able to get the win. So I think that's the key. I think he's going for 30 plus for sure, in my opinion. And I think the Mavs are gonna, they're gonna keep it tight. They may end up losing the game, but I think it's gonna be really close.
All right. How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 5, 1-star play to a 5-star play? How confident are you?
I'll take I'm pretty confident actually. I think I'll take a 4.
Okay.
I'm actually very confident. I'm gonna lose, and I'm sure I'm gonna bet on this actually. I don't like spread bet like crazy. I like to do a lot of parlays, but I am gonna spread bet on this one now that I've picked. I'll do all my picks today.
Trevor,
Man,
that's
spoken like a true Mahoney.
Yeah. Trevor, that's going to affect your decision on our battle tonight, I bet.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's some good content right there. Though we might have to have Chris as a regular guest on this show because that's some just pure Mahoney talk right there. I love it.
Yeah, anybody watching this, it appears to me like the Warriors is like game of the year type situation after that analysis. Trevor, you want to interested in picking one NHL game?
Of course, you know that I'm an NHL expert.
Yep.
Also, we have to replace the Edonk probably. He's been on fire lately, making correct picks, right?
It's insane. He went 3-0 the other day.
Yeah, like dude, he's never done that in his life, and our viewers depend on him to give them the wrong bet, and he's failed them.
No, we got to have a talk. All right. First game, Hurricanes and Rangers. They're back in Carolina. I believe that series is 2-2. Anybody interested in hockey betting? The show that I did a couple weeks ago with David Tuckman and Greg Mueller. There's a lot of money on the line in the OT game last night between the Avalanche and the Blues was like a $3,000 swing, that goal that they scored in the last minute between those two. Greg Mueller sent me a text this morning. Very, very unhappy. So check that out for some good content. Hurricanes are a pretty decent sized favorite at home. I think they win all their games at home. They're minus 150. Rangers are plus 130. Trevor, what do you got?
Yeah, so I did some deep numbers running here, and I believe Rod Brindamore is the coach of the Canes. Is that correct? Maybe.
He either is or is not. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And he used to be a Flyer, and that would be the team that I root for if I did watch hockey. So I'm going to go with the Canes.
All right. Canes for you. And can I give you the high scoring game then, Chris?
Yeah, sounds good.
I believe what you told me previously was you don't really know much about NHL, but you definitely bet on it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, perfect. Perfect. late game tonight. Flames, they're down 1-3, if I'm not mistaken. They're at home against the Oilers, trying to stay alive. It's actually the same number. Flames minus 150, Oilers plus 130. Where you
Yeah.
got?
So see, the Oilers are the one team in the NHL. I mean, I'm a Red Wings fan because I'm from Detroit, or the Detroit area at least. But the Oilers are my team. This is the team I bet on the most. You know, they just won me some money actually in their last. There was a FanDuel boost, but they almost blew a 3-0 lead, and they had a crazy goal scored on them to tie it back up. So I watched pretty much the entire game, and the Flames had a shorthanded goal from like 3/4 ice, and it was just ridiculous. And I was so pissed, but then they ended up, rebounding, and they got a couple goals at the end of the game. The Flames, they looked honestly like they dominated that game from the second period on. They looked like the better team, but I'm going to go with the Oilers because I think they got more star power personally. I'm not the biggest hockey fan, but I know Evander Kane, I know Connor McDavid, those kind of guys. And the Oilers are my team to bet on. So I'm going to ride with them one more time. I feel like the Flames are a popular pick tonight because they're at home. They're on the ropes. But I think the Oilers are going to close them out on their home ice tonight. And I'm probably going to watch this game as well. So this series has been really fun to watch. I know it's 3-1, but this has been the one series that I've really enjoyed to watch in the second round.
They score a lot of goals in this.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I forgot to ask Trevor, but I'll ask you first. How many stars do you have on the Oilers?
Give me 2 stars on the Oilers. I'm not as confident on this one, but okay. I'm going to ride with them.
And Trevor, with your hot rod Brindamore take, how many stars?
I only release 5-star NHL picks. You know that.
That's right.
I mean, how great is sports betting though? Like, if there wasn't sports betting, how little would some people watch? You just wouldn't even watch. It's like gives you the incentive the juice to watch it. Yep. Love it.
That's what we try to teach the kids around here. All right. Again, you guys are responsible for teaching the kids to run it out when you make contact with the ball, not like what Bonham does. Our job is to teach the kids how to gamble responsibly and to start early. So, all right. That's it for this show. Once again, Chris, thanks for joining us, and good gambling, everybody.